Well, my selection is from Always Play the Dark Horse, and it's the latest that's been published in the Jessica Minton Mystery Series. In this book, the scene I selected brings into play the humor, the sort of nice, evocative description setting, and also the twist that you don't expect. So, just as a little background, Jessica Minton and her husband are at a small college on the Connecticut part of the Long Island Sound. He's going to be teaching there during the summer. They've just gone through a terrible nor'easter the night before, and everything's beautiful today. And so they're going for a nice beachside picnic, especially to escape some of the pressures that came in with college politics and a strangely missing professor. And, you know, she's been having a tough time doing her radio work, and her husband was an SOE agent with the resistance during World War II, so much of his experience is haunting him. But things seem to be getting much better now, until Jessica turned her eyes to the sound beyond them, instinctively offering James something happy. "I'm so glad that you love the ocean too. We've already made some lovely memories here, but today it's just wonderful. I'm so happy this is something I can share with you." Following Jess's gaze into the glitter and shimmer of rolling turquoise and green, James nodded. "It's something all right, especially for a kid who grew up in Milton Northern, the industrial north. We were right in the middle of the country, not like Leeds where you can hop a train and end up at Whitby." "Whitby? That's where the ruined abbey is, the one in Dracula." James gave his dark head a disbelieving shake and teased. "You're quite the character, you are. I mentioned one of the most famous seaside resorts in my country, and all you can talk about is vampires. I think you need a holiday from that gruesome program of yours more than you realize, Jessica Minton Crawford." "Oh, why don't you go take another picture of a seagull?" Jessica feigned indignation, releasing James's arm and tossing her head in her best Maureen O'Hara mode. "Why don't I take a picture of my gorgeous wife?" James countered appealingly, getting up and drawing Jessica by the hand after him. "How about over there? Stand on the block so I can get a full-length shot." "Fine. Play to my vanity," Jess said airily as James brought her over to and handed her onto one of the stone markers that studded the beach. "Who am I to argue?" "Thought you might say that," James returned as he stepped back, almost into the seagrass, looking into the viewfinder of his brownie to get a better shot. "So," Jessica proposed as she hiked her skirt up over her knee and curved her leg forward, "how about a little cheesecake?" Looking through the viewfinder of his camera, James mischievously commented, "Too bad I never got a chance to do this kind of recon photo in France." "Never mind that. I'm much happier thinking about you photographing secret installations and documents and troop movements than one of those French mademoiselles, especially since you're half French anyway. I don't like the thought of you parlaying any pickup lines." "Even in the line of duty?" "Especially in the line of duty. So just make sure that the only gams you pay attention to from now on are mine." "Agreed," James smiled. "I'll even close my eyes anytime Betty Grable comes on the screen at the flicks." "See that you do that," Jessica laughed as James took another shot. She was just about to hop down when James stopped her with, "Wait, I want a more serious shot." "Okay, how about if I tilt my head up as if I'm looking out to sea, waiting for your return? The ocean's behind you." "Well, yes, but the sun gets in my eyes. If I look that way, I squint, get all those little crow's feet." Chuckling, James acquiesced, so Jess tilted her head up and pretended to peer across stormy seas by staring into the marsh grass. Well, she was an actress, wasn't she? Angling her head and craning her neck, Jess blinked at what caught her eye. What was the mannequin's hand and arm doing draped over that sea-crusted log? Mannequin? On the beach? "Oh, my Lord!" Her knees visibly wobbled with shock. Jess found herself now sitting on the block. James rushed over, kneeling by her, asking something about the sun, the heat. Forcing herself to come back to him, Jessica faced her husband and managed. "James, in the grass. A body. It looks like a body. I saw an arm. Over there, to the left, in the grass." James's features went from surprise to hard determination. He stood up, all business, questioning, "Jessica, are you absolutely sure?" She swallowed hard and nodded, then said, "I know how crazy this sounds, but..." Turning to the area Jess had indicated, James speculated. Could have been a boating accident last night. Turning back to her, he said, I'll check it out. Just sit tight, all right? Stay here. Jessica nodded, saying, Don't worry. I've already seen more corpses than I care to in my life, and this doesn't promise to be pretty. James's eyes told her he knew far too well how she felt, knew worse things than she did. But that passed even before he promised, I'll be right back. You'll be all right. Jessica watched James move swiftly into the marsh grass on the ridge. She couldn't help being relieved she didn't have to go with him, even as she wanted to kick herself for sending him up to that horror. Who could it be? What had happened to him or her? Of course, it must have been an accident, as James had conjectured. But who was it? Now that she thought back, she had the impression it was a woman's hand and arm, not an image she wanted in her mind. An image of whom, though? A terrible possibility seized her. No, it couldn't be. There was no reason to believe this was the remains of the woman professor supposed to have left some time ago for Canada. So good. I hope I got you guessing there.